All right. Sorry, everybody. I had some technical issues that I needed to work out, but we're good now. Um, all right, here we go. Here we go. So let's see. What are we talking about today? I'm gonna pull this up. All right. So we got the AFC East and NFC East draft previews, but let's start with the AFC East here. Oop, we gotta shoot. We didn't change that. Um, damn it. Um, Sorry, I gotta change the background here. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, sorry about that. Ugh, that's my bad. All right, so in the AFC East we have. Uh, I gotta look that up now. Damn it, I can't think that.
We did that last week.
Oh, so we're doing okay. Damn it. All right,
AFC North.
AFC North and the NFC North. So we know the NFC North. Me and Michael. So let's look at the NFC or AFC North first. Ugh. Um, all right, so we have the. No, we did that last week. Damn it. So we're doing the NFC North, which is the
NFC
Bears.
North, AFC North.
Okay, so let's just start with the NFC North. So that's the Bears, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers. And for the people that may have thought that I did accidentally say the Packers last, I will admit that was an accident, but I also hate them. So I have a little.
It's
That was a little bit on purpose. Um. Okay. Let's get that straightened out here. So let's just start with how about the division winners anyway, which happened to be the Bears. So the Bears, they've got a lot of problems with, or they've got a lot of things that they could shore up with their draft. I mean they've. I mean, I would imagine that it's primarily focused on defense. It, you know, Specifically, I would like them to target the D line with defensive end, D tackle, and a safety, and maybe some corners. But in also, I would like to see them throw in a solid center, and maybe a third receiver option since they traded away DJ Moore. But the thing is, we only have 7 draft picks, so that's kind of we got to pick and choose there. The and the league did actually reject our chances to get two third round draft picks for Ian Cunningham being hired as the GM, which I think is total bullcrap. But uh, that's neither here nor there. But I mean, I don't know what they do at 25 either, because in the past we've been very high on the draft board, within the top 10, but now we're at 25. So it's kind of like, oh God, what do we do? You know, uh, I I would imagine that they are targeting someone on the defensive side of the ball. I hope it's edge or safety, because those are the two big positions of need I think we have. Um, but I don't know. What do you think, Michael? What would you do?
yeah. I mean, we've gone over this with our podcast, but
Hmm.
uh, I think like we've done some scenarios too. I think we if we can trade down just like two picks, maybe get an extra pick in there, and
Hmm.
then still draft the guy I hope we draft in Peter Woods. You do that. I need we need that defensive lineman guy, and then who knows? Maybe we're at 25 and the safety diamonds there. Like, you never know.
That would be something. That would be something. But I I don't know. What do you think, Ben? I mean, I know you're not, you're a Pats fan, which
Hmm.
but like I'm sure you know a good amount throughout the league. What would you suggest happens?
In terms of what for the NFC North, like player was, because I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I look around the league. Of course, I mean for the Bears, I mean I'll just kind of go through in terms of just like needs for the
Mhm.
draft. I think more than a players, because I'm not a big players guy for the draft. To be honest, I don't know a lot. I mean for the Bears, I think you guys are probably going to be targeting probably say defense, at least at the front. I do think your secondary is pretty good, but I just think that front half definitely getting the pressure, and I think that you guys can get some really good pressure in the next couple of years. I think you guys definitely be a force to be reckoned with, down the stretch. For the Lions, I think the Lions really have to focus on their offensive line. I think
Sure.
last year their offensive line, they obviously lost Frank Ragnow. They lost Taylor. Forgot his last name. The guy was the left hand side. He retired, or they decided to move on from him. It was a long term, really good offensive lineman for them. So I think they have to really focus on offensive line for Jared Goff and the offense, because I know they obviously, Jameer Gibbs is one of the best, offensive players and backs in the league, but you need to be able to protect them. You got to be able to protect Goff as well. And then, the Vikings. The Vikings are definitely going to just be rebuilding out, I think, this year. They have a lot of spots they can go with, to be honest. I'll probably stay offensive line as well for them, protecting whatever quarterback they have, a Kyle Murray or, JJ. I bet Kyle will be the starter, but
I'm gonna say Kyler is gonna be the starter for the
yeah.
Vikings.
And then defense. I mean, defense as well. It's just a defense to me that just does not have a lot. So they obviously have to focus and kind of work the ground up. And then the Packers. Packers. I mean, they did lose Rashawn Slater in free agency. I think that's going to be kind of a low key big loss for them. And the Panthers got a really good one there. So maybe some help on
Mhm.
the left side. I think the running game is kind of a spot to me as well that kind of is very up and down. Um, and then the weapons I think are fine. Matt Golden was obviously a great find. I wanted him for the pass last year. Of course, it didn't happen. He went to Green Bay, which I think it was a really good move for them. Defense, I think defensively, I'd probably say their secondary probably needs some work in terms of the Packers. So that's at least some key needs, at least for some of the teams.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can agree with you.
I'm with you on the Packers. The Packers need a lot of. They lost to two linebackers. They need linebackers. They're gonna need linebackers. You never know how healthy of a season you're gonna get from Micah. So an end wouldn't hurt. I don't want them to draft those players. Obviously, like I want them to throw in randoms in there, but that's obviously not gonna happen. So, but yeah, they Packers need defense, I think, and maybe linemen. And then I'm with you. I'm with Ben on the Lions. I think they go heavily offensive line, and
Yeah, they definitely need it for sure.
I think they draft a running back too, like a later round running back, just
Mhm.
behind Gibbs because you lost Monty, and then
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good one.
Vikings. Yeah, they'll take anyone. I think they should go best player available, but you never know with the Vikings.
That's true. So, yeah, I mean, I really like this, I mean, I really like this draft for a lot of the teams, honestly, because it is a defensive-based draft, and a lot of teams need defense more than they need offense, but, it's a wait and see game with the draft, you never know, because there's always 9 times out of 10, there's a player that should be going in the top 10 that doesn't get picked till pick 20 or 23 or later than that because of some random issue. I mean, the thing that shocked me was the Eagles picked, what's his name? Jalen Carter, because even with his off-field issues, and I think he might get released after this year, because I'm not sure, but but I don't think he's necessarily worth another chance. So it's I don't know, but that's up to the Eagles because they usually draft and just automatically extend people afterward. So that I probably shouldn't have said what I just said, but who knows? So and then the next topic is for the AFC, and oops, I did not mean to. I accidentally. And in the AFC North, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Cleveland Browns have 2 first-round draft picks. They have 6 and 20, I believe. I could pull up a mock draft right now, but I think that's right.
I'm looking at it right now.
PFF, yeah, let's just go to that one. The Browns have 6 and I'm just gonna enter the draft. 6 and 24. 6 and 24. Now I think I did hear no, that was the Cardinals. I'm sorry. The Cardinals and someone else were in discussions to be in a trade discussion for the number 3 pick, and I believe that was the Cowboys, who also have 2 first-round draft picks. So, and it was said that the player that they would be targeting in that instance would be David Bailey. That's something. That'd be interesting because you get rid of Micah, but then you possibly get his replacement. I personally still wouldn't have gotten rid of him because Micah Parsons is a beast. But
well, it's like Jerry Jones said, you take 2 draft picks that can be just like Micah Parsons,
yeah,
you get
and
guys like Micah Parsons.
They were in on Max Crosby, and they would have backed out of the deal if they had gotten that trade, but they didn't. The Ravens did, but they had to back out because of the failed physical. But yeah, I mean the Steelers are going to be an interesting one too because they got a new head coach in Mike McCarthy. I mean it's kind of hard to say new coach because he's been in the league and he is he's been a head coach before, but he's a new head coach for the Steelers because they moved on from Mike Tomlin. But it's just we'll see how long he's here because the thing about the Steelers is when you look at their tenure of head coaches, what they've had 4, and it's been Mike Tomlin, Bill, oh God, one of the NFL Network. Thank you, Ben. Bill Cowher. And then someone else before that I can't think of. But they all had been head coaches for the Steelers for 15 plus years. It was never a short-lived hire. I think there's a possibility that McCarthy could be a short-lived hire just because he's older. But then again, I could totally be proven wrong. I'm not sure. But going into, I mean, what do you guys think will happen for these teams? Like what do you think the Steelers will do at 21 or the Baltimore Ravens at 14 or anything like that? What do you think?
I can go first.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
So for me, for the Steelers, I feel like the Steelers really need some help um, at receiver, some secondary
Okay.
at receiver behind DK.
Well, actually, they did get Michael Pittman.
They did. I just feel like kind of after those two, it just kind of. I mean, Calvin Austin, they moved on from him. It was kind of a big loss.
Okay.
They just kind of need like the Packers with like Matthew Golden. Like they just need that couple other secondary guys. Have.
Sure.
I think some of their defense, some of their secondary guys would be massive to have as well. I know at least some of their linebackers tend to be a little more on the slower side, so maybe help with that linebacker. This is obviously a faster defensive league. The Bengals, listen, I've been with the Bengals for a while. The Bengals obviously lost Hendrickson. That's a massive loss.
To a rival, no less.
So they really need to help on that defensive front more than ever. The Bengals can't keep wasting seasons away with Joe Burrow and
the Bengals.
They just need defensive talent, really. I mean, that secondary. They brought in Kyle Duggar, but he's kind of a depth piece. The Ravens to me always seem to need offensive line to protect Lamar. That's kind of always been kind of a forefront for them.
Oh, that's a good one.
Maybe look later on for the Ravens for tight end, losing Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews is getting up there another year in age.
Good idea.
So look at maybe tight end for them later on. The Browns. Listen, the Browns. It's going to be a long situation with them. I mean,
yeah, you're waiting. You're in the long game with the Browns.
You can go really any place. I mean, receiver, offensive line, defensive line is maybe one of the only places where they probably don't need it because Myles Garrett
and
Carson Schlesinger, their linebackers is a stud as well. So like they at least have a little bit of that, but like outside of that, I mean their offensive talent is just abysmal. It really is. Jerry Jeudy, it's a very average. They're very average to below average offense. So they need something there desperately.
No, yeah. I think you hit it spot on. I mean, for me though, like a player or position that I think the Bengals will target, since we are talking about the AFC North here. Me and Michael agree on this. I think a possible place for him to go, for this player that I'm about to mention to go, is the Bengals, and I think that's Caleb Downs.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's, I will admit this, if there's a place that where he goes before that, it's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs.
I think
right
it's the Saints,
before that.
but I think Caleb Downs goes 8 to the Saints.
What if he wants the Giants? Probably not.
I think that's just a little too high.
I have heard that Harbaugh loves him though. He has said that he loves him on podcasts that he's come on. So I wouldn't keep it out the realm of possibility, but at the same time, that might be a little early for him. I will admit that. But it's honestly, when we will know, like we will have like the best guesses for the draft, like our show on Sunday right before the draft, the 19th. I want to say it will be. Yes, the 19th of this month. That is when we will most likely have the best like draft knowledge for you guys, because it always feels like a couple days before or like the week of the draft, everything like in terms of mock drafts is like the closest to it being actually accurate. But
Except for that one player that just falls for no reason.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the last 3 years, there's always a player like Jalen Carter fell, but we had a reason. But Dallas Turner fell in the 2024 draft. Luther fell last year.
Yeah, Luther fell last year. Who's it going to be this year? I mean,
And Shador fell. I forgot about that. He fell.
Shador fell, yeah. People were saying that he was going to be the number 2 pick in the draft. He was not. Way off
I
on
mean, he
that.
went to the team. He went to the
He went to
team.
the
Everyone
he went
said
to that team, yes, but still. So I mean, it's you know, it's we're unpredictable on what the draft is going to be like right now. But let's get into the next time. So there's been some rule changes. I mean, one that I noticed is the NFL is bringing in replacement refs. I don't know if that's like a rule, but it's something that's changed. I don't necessarily think that's a smart idea, but you know, it's whatever. I'm not the commissioner of the football league, but but I would like to throw out a rule change that I kind of think needs to be thought about because and that's the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule is where teams in front offices teams have to interview 2 minority candidates for a general manager job or a head coach job before they can hire either of those positions. But here's the thing. Recently the Falcons hired Ian Cunningham, who is a minority candidate. And usually when you get a minority candidate hired as a prominent football executive position, the team that the GM or head coach leaves gets compensated for that executive leaving. The Bears did not get compensated for that, and it's because Ian Cunningham is not the primary football decision maker. Because 2 weeks before Ian Cunningham was hired as the GM in Atlanta, Matt Ryan was hired to be the president of football operations there. So now teams have seen the Falcons do this and not have to give up draft, or not have to, you know, give away draft capital to a random team. But so my question is, if the Falcons did it, where they created a, you know, another president for the football operations, what's holding teams back from doing it so they don't have to give up draft compensation? This is
I
not a rule change that has happened, but I think that might need to be discussed.
yeah, I hate that because like if you think about it, every team that has their assistant GM like go for a GM spot somewhere else got compensated. Every single team. And the one team that it happens to that doesn't is the Bears. And it kind of sucks because that's our team, but every other team, like when we took polls from the Chiefs got a third
They
round
got
pick.
compensated when
Every team is getting compensated. It is just annoying that it has to be the Bears. I think that's just the annoying thing. Like if
uh-huh,
this happened to another team, like all the other fan like if this happened to the Pats, Ben would be pissed too that they didn't get a pick. Like
right,
you're mad that you don't get a pick, and it happens to be our team, which sucks. And that's why I think I care about that topic a little more because it's my team, and
right.
they have to do something about this. Like we have to get compensated in some way, shape, or form. Because Matt Ryan came out and said that Ian Cunningham will be doing
Is the
most of the
leading decision
decisions.
maker. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So where's our pick?
And they even talked to the commissioner at the owners meetings a couple days ago, and they were told no, which is terrible. But
because it's the Bears, man.
I mean, Ben, what rule changes have happened? Because I will admit I haven't looked that much into this. But it was a important topic to talk about.
What did happen? I have to look this up.
And here, I can unmute you, Ben, if you want.
Sorry, no, I had to mute.
No.
Yeah, no, it's just very, very interesting, like what around the league they're trying to do. You know, obviously the draft picks in terms of like making sure you know you have picks, but like if you end up losing them because of certain situations, it's obviously you want to make sure that you have the right situation on hand because when it comes to draft time, you make any big trades or whatever,
Right.
you want to make sure that it's worth what you're getting for, right?
Yeah. No. Exactly.
So I just looked up a rule change, and teams are now allowed to kick onside kicks at any point in the game, not rather than only the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that one. What else? Wait, did Nick? Let me see if I actually got sent what the rule changes were. Let's see. No, I can't find it. Okay, so I mean, another thing that's coming is there's a season 3 of Quarterbacks on Netflix, and also but this kind of goes hand in hand with this topic. The Netflix is wanting a 4-game slate for the NFL this year. It doesn't it hasn't been announced what 4 games they want, but they want to be able to have 4 games on Netflix this year. I mean, they had Christmas games last year and a couple others, I want to say, but I don't know what other games they'd want on Netflix, but also I don't really think it's a good idea because I know that this isn't necessarily football related, but when the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight happened, everyone was watching that fight, and it was on Netflix, so it was so slow. So if that got slowed down because of how many people were watching it, imagine how slow it would be for football because everyone watches football on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like my saying this is going to stop it from happening, but I just don't think that Netflix having football games is a good idea. Save that for, like Fubo or Hulu or, any live stream service that has live TV with it. But coming back to this, so there's season 3 of Quarterback on Netflix, which I've actually really enjoyed. They usually follow what, 3 quarterbacks or 4?
It's usually 3. I think they had Kirk Cousins, Patrick Mahomes, right, and someone
Mariota.
And then
last year was Joe Burrow, Kirk, and Goff.
Okay.
So
they're like average guys. Like
yeah, they always get like one stud. Yeah, and then they'll get like
middle of the road guy, and then the guy that stinks.
I'm trying to find who is on it though. I can't.
I don't think that's been announced yet. But I will throw you. I'll throw. I kind of don't want to say this name, but I kind of want to say this name for one reason. For
the guy behind you.
I would love to see Caleb on it, but at the same time, I would not like to see Caleb on it because I don't want the show to be distracting him from what he primarily focuses on, which is football. But if he says, yeah, I'm watching, I am so watching it. I watch it regardless, but I will so watch it if it is Caleb.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go like who I want to see because I can't find anything on who's out there. It hasn't been announced. So I'm gonna go with star, middle of the road guy, and then kind of like your bottom tier.
Okay.
So my bottom tier guy I kind of want to see. I want to see Cam Ward.
You know what?
I want to see Cam Ward.
That's not a bad option because with Brian Davis,
everything new they brought in
as his OC, that might be an ascending option, honestly.
Yeah. But this is based off of last season.
Okay, sure.
So I want to see that. I want to see like kind of how his rookie season went, and then I want to see for like my middle tier guy. I kind of want to see like a Bo Nix, Drake May. Like I don't think they're middle tier. I have a feeling they're kind of going to go 2 stars. Like I want to see like the second year quarterbacks, like the Caleb. Okay. I don't think Caleb did it because we would have saw that. But like, I don't think Drake May did it because Ben would have probably saw that too. But I want to see like Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, JJ, like your second year quarterbacks.
So for me,
wait. You want to see JJ, the guy that's
any second year quarterback? I want to see any second year quarterback.
I'm just gonna say this. I think he's gonna be riding the bench, man. I'm sorry.
I know, but it's based off of last season.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So and then for my superstar, I want to see Josh Allen.
I will admit my superstar wouldn't have been Josh Allen. But I have a feeling he would say no. The guy that I would put as my superstar would say no because he's already on a show in the summer. My superstar would have been Sam Darnold.
He might be in there. I don't know.
But Ben, what was your 3?
Yeah, I'd say Josh Allen, probably my 1. I'd say my rookie, I'm gonna go Jaden. And then my other one, I don't know if he's done or not, Jalen Hurts.
He hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of is somebody that's very like, even keel. I feel like they want to have guys like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I'd say Jalen Hurts and Jaden as like my secondary guys.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those guys are good options. I will say that. So it's gonna be interesting to see when the quarterbacks that are going to be included are going to be announced. Because I mean, wouldn't you think that when they would announce the season 3, they would have announced the choices also?
Yeah, you would think. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Kirk Cousins does it again.
Why?
He loves that. I don't know. He just loves it. He's done it the last 2.
Yeah, I guess. Why did I think that Penix did one?
No, because Kirk's done it twice.
Okay. But like I said, the Seahawks are on Hard Knocks, so which is why I doubt that that Sam Darnold would be included in 2 shows that probably film at the same time. But I really like this because we'll get a inside scoop on like their training camp and all that stuff, which is really fun. I want to see how Mike McDaniel or Mike McDonald. I get those 2 mixed up all the time. I want to see how he handles his first meeting with the players after a Super Bowl win. That would, I mean, see, for me, when we get to a new season, even if you won a Super Bowl, last season is thrown out the window. Nothing matters more. Nothing matters anymore. We're an 0-0 team. That's my thought process. But I just like to see how he would get his players pumped up for the next season after a Super Bowl. So that would be interesting. But I want to see if
I
if
want to say something.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm not really that excited about the Seahawks. I'm excited about next year's
Because
Drake May contract year.
next year's is the Patriots. That's that's interesting. Yeah, Ben, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of liking it because we usually never run stuff like that.
Well, also you had Bill for 20 years, and he wanted to keep you away from all the cameras. But
right.
I mean, I understand that that what's his name, Vrabel is like a descendant of Bill Belichick, but
Yeah.
not the same type of coach. He's a serious coach, but he's also a laid back coach. I wouldn't necessarily say that Belichick was ever a laid back type of coach. He was always the, get it done, get in here, let's do it.
He wrote a tough ship, but it was his way or the highway. That's essentially what it was for him. He was tough, and if you wanted to be tough and you wanted to win games, he was your coach. But if you wanted to take any less effort of what you're going to do when you're on the field, you're not playing. Doesn't matter how good or bad you are. That was the type of guy he was. But Vrabel's very the same way. He comes from a certain trade, but he also, when off the field, when it's just kind of a just different vibe, and that's fine. And obviously he throughout the week he obviously lets the guys kind of be a little loose. But then, of course, when it comes to game time, that's of course when it's locking in, kind of like
that's when you need to flip the switch and be serious.
Yeah, and guys made it to the Super Bowl last year, so whatever it was working, it was working. So, but yeah, the Hard Knocks thing should be interesting. I am curious to see. We did actually, the Pats got a new renovated practice field, right outside of the stadium. So, I think it's gonna be really cool to see. Probably them doing some footage on that new turf this year. And I will see in terms of maybe even during training camp this summer, and because I obviously Hard Knocks, it takes a lot, kind of make it all work together. So, but yeah, the Seattle, I mean, that should also be very, very fascinating as well too. And yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a very good team, even without Walker. It's a tough loss, but
that is a tough loss.
The defending chance of reason, they pretty much have most of their guys back on their defense, besides maybe a couple guys in their secondary, but it's still a top team. Mike McDonald obviously is a very, very tough coach, and he's a good coach too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love both of the Hard Knock options for the Seahawks and the Patriots. I think I think those were great choices. But we got off-season dates announced, which was really cool. In fact, one of them starts very early, like today's Saturday. They start Tuesday. The Arizona Cardinals' first day of camp is actually April 7th, which is Tuesday, which is insane. And then important dates for them. Voluntary minicamp is April 21st through the 23rd, which the 23rd is the first night of draft night. That's the first night of the draft, which, oh God, I'm so excited to be here. For a couple reasons. For football, obviously, and then April 23rd is like 3 weeks before my school year ends, so I'm almost at summer. And then OTAs are May 18th, 19th, 21st, 26th, 27th, 29th, and then June 1st and 2nd, and June 4th. And then mandatory minicamp starts June 8th and goes to the 10th. And then Atlanta also starts April 7th. So they start Tuesday as well because they got Kevin Stefanski as their new head coach. And for all the people that don't know, the earliest the teams that start the earliest are the teams with new head coaches. So like the Ravens, the Cardinals, the Steelers,
Giants,
Giants. How many teams had new head coaches?
Falcons.
Okay, I'll just read the
Titans.
the Buffalo Bills got a new head coach, even though it was a promotion. So Baltimore, they start the April 8th. Their mandatory minicamp is April 20th to the 22nd. Their OTA off-season workouts are May 18th and 19th, May 21st, May 28th through 20 and the 29th, June 1st, June 2nd, and then June 4th. And then their mandatory minicamp is June 9th through 11th. Then Buffalo, they've got April 7th for their first day, which is also Tuesday. And then their mandatory voluntary minicamp is April 20th through 22nd. And then their off-season workouts are May 18th through and 19th, and then May 21st, and then 26th through 28th of May is also one of their off-season workouts, and then June 1st through 4th is another section of their workouts, and then their mandatory minicamp starts June 9th to June 11th. And then when it comes to the teams that don't have new head coaches, I want to say that they start like April 20th. Like their first day is actually April 20th, and then it goes on from there. I just want to read like the teams with new head coaches. So like for example, Cleveland starts April 7th. Their mandatory minicamp is April 21st to 23rd. They have OTA off-season workouts May 19th to the 21st, and then May 26th to the 28th, and June 2nd to June 5th. And then their mandatory minicamp is June 9th to June 11th. I can see if any. Okay, so Las Vegas also starts April 7th. Their voluntary workouts are April 20th through the 22nd. Their off-season workouts are May 18th, May 21st, 20th to the 21st, May 26th, May 28th and 29th, and then June 1st through the 4th, and their mandatory minicamp starts June 9th and goes to the 11th of June. And I don't think that there's there is. Miami's is April 7th. Oh God, I can barely see that. But it's all very similar in terms of the dates that they have. Some of the teams that do it might end their voluntary minicamp or mandatory minicamp a little earlier than some teams, but it always starts early April and ends in like early June. So that's but we'll see who does the best jobs in those new head coach situations. it's kind of hard to make a guess on who that would be, but I kind of want to do that because there's uh, some of the teams that have new head coaches have seasoned new head coaches, like that have been head coaches before, like Harbaugh is a good example. If the Giants had a little bit more, I would say that he had the best chance of actually going from, an 8-9 season to maybe a 10 or 11 win season, but I do think that the Giants do have some missing pieces there. So that's kind of hard to say. I mean, not Dave, Saleh with the Titans is interesting because you helped out Cam Ward with getting him a good offensive coordinator and a couple weapons, but I don't know if I can imagine Saleh being successful after the Jets. But then again, it was also the Jets, so I need to keep an open mind on that. I mean, I would love to see Clint Kubiak be successful in his first year, but my thing is, I mean, most of the staff that you got for the Raiders was just a promotion, aside from a couple of pieces. So, that's my question mark. Or did you actually build a quality staff? I don't know. You have to show me that you have. I mean, with Harbaugh, he's been in the league so long. He's obviously going to have a quality staff, or a majority of his staff followed him to the Giants. But my question is just who's going to have the best rookie tenure of this hiring cycle? Because I mean, last year it was Vrabel and Ben Johnson. There is no Vrabel or Ben Johnson in this cycle, so I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I know that wasn't a topic, but I was just trying to think of a good topic or a good conversation starter. What are you guys' thoughts?
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. Well, what I turn that question into is who do I think do I think their team will get a significant amount more wins? I think the best chance is the Giants. I think the Giants can go from they had 4 or 5 wins this year.
I think so.
They had 4 or 5 wins, so I think they can jump easily to 8 wins.
Okay.
Just because of the head coach, and then they brought in some guys. Yeah, you lost Wandell, but you still have Neighbors there, and who knows, they might draft a wide receiver.
I could see that happening. I could see it. I mean, I'm honestly, I'm gonna say this. I thought your answer was gonna be the Ravens. I thought your answer would be the Ravens.
No, just because I think it's just because they went they were 8-9 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They might go to a 9-win team, maybe, but I don't think they'll have the biggest I'm thinking of biggest impact plus better way better record, and I think that will be the Giants. I do think the Bills could get another win in there just because of DJ Moore, but yeah, I think it's the Giants. I think the Giants have the big. Harbaugh has the best.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. What about you, Ben? What are your thoughts? I mean,
I agree with Mike. I mean, I really think that the Giants should have a patch season like last year if everything kind of puts into place. They really got injured last year, obviously with Scatterboon and Neighbors. So, and obviously Brandon Harbaugh, who of course is a Super Bowl winning type of coach. There obviously is expectations there for them.
all right. I mean, oh gosh, what can we talk about?
I have one.
All right, what is it?
So, did you guys see after the coaches meeting and all that, all the coaches went out for drinks?
I did. I saw that.
There were 28 of the there were 29 of the 32.
28 or 29, something like that. Yeah.
of the head coaches. The one I didn't see, my coach, Ben Johnson. He was
I didn't
not
see
there.
him either.
And I don't know the other ones, but that was the one I was looking for. Like Brable was there, Sean Payton was
Rabel was
there.
there? I didn't see him there.
Was there?
He was
Yep.
there. He
Ooh,
was there.
I don't know. Ben Johnson must be in a dark room just drawing up plays and focusing on the season, man.
I don't know. That was just something I saw, and like I just wanted to see your guys' opinion if you guys saw it. Like
I
I
didn't
didn't
see
see
it.
there was 3 or 4 head coaches missing. All the other ones were there.
You want to know what was so weird about that gathering? There was one person there that was not a coach at all. Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan was there, and I am not trying to say that I don't believe that Matt Ryan shouldn't be there. It's just, shouldn't you technically be focused on your duties as the president of football operations and trying to get players to take you seriously as the leading decision maker? But I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, I mean, I would like to know which 3 weren't there or which 4 weren't there. Was Liam Cohen there? Did you see Liam Cohen? Or were you, I mean, I don't think you were looking out for other ones.
I was just looking for Ben Johnson, if I'm being honest. I just know he wasn't there.
And that's big. Yeah. What else?
I didn't see Matt LaFleur either.
Okay, that's a big one.
That was the other one I didn't see.
Well,
He might have been there,
as
but
a
I was
new
looking towards
coach,
Sean Payton, or not Sean Payton. I was looking towards Sean McVay, and he wasn't next to him. So
as a new head coach, he might have he might have realized that he had bigger obligations to take care of rather than a drinking celebration for no reason.
I'm gonna be honest. If I was a coach, I would have went to it.
Me too. Even though I would probably just go to socialize. I'm not much of a drinker. I will say that, but I probably shouldn't have admitted that on the show. So one more thing that I think we should talk about. It actually does involve Caleb Williams a little bit. I think this is a cool thing to talk about. So Caleb Williams is investing in something, and the most recent thing that he invested in was, I can't read the whole story because it's behind a paywall. Ugh, I'll sign up with Google, whatever, I don't care. Just so I can read it. Continue. All right. Let's see what this story. I should have done this.
He invested into a NWSL team, a women's sports investment firm, Elon Musk AI company. That's all. That's all I can see.
Yeah. So so Boston Legacy FC and Monarch Collective, an investment firm that has stakes in 3 national women's soccer teams and a German Bundesliga women's club. I don't know what that word is, but and he also recently joined the investment group for the WNBA's upcoming Cleveland expansion team. That's pretty interesting. He also mentioned it. It's also mentioned Elon Musk's AI company. Oh my God, Elon Musk is investing in everything. Williams points to. Oh my God, I'm trying to read. So like he invested in wellness, it's tech, and it's sports. Uh, he said those three buckets have been the heavy hitters for us. Um, I wish it said I wish it said how much he invested. But Williams has long envisioned a life where he's an owner, not just a player. And quote says, "My goal started off as winning the Super Bowl, being one of the greatest to ever walk the planet playing football." He says, "Quote, then it turned into when I'm done with all that to go own a football team." That was one of my first goals growing up as a kid. Uh, he'd also like to get into Formula One, which he's become a really big fan of. That would be really cool. And I just want to throw this out there. This probably will never happen, but he said that he wanted to own a football team. Caleb, what do you say about owning the Bears? I'm sorry, you probably won't. The McCaskies probably won't sell to you, but I put you as an owner I'd favor over George McCaskey, and I hope.
I would love to see that, but I hate to say he ain't gonna at that time when he retires and all that. He ain't gonna have it's probably gonna be like $20 billion.
Yeah, probably.
He ain't gonna have that.
Yeah, unless he gets like a well, you can't get a loan from anybody.
Unless this AI thing for Elon Musk takes off and he somehow gets like $20 billion from it.
It's possible, but I don't know. What else did the article say? Uh, um, I mean, I really like that he wants to get into Formula One because I mean, Michael Jordan is into Formula One, which is another Chicago-based legend down here in Chicago. So he's kind of following the footsteps of the basketball GOAT, in my personal opinion. But I think it'd be cool to own a Formula One team also. I mean, but you gotta have hundreds of millions of dollars to do that, probably close to $1 billion. But
I don't think it's that much, but they are in the hundreds.
I mean, do you know how much it costs to actually like build a F1 car? It's like, I want to say like $100 million to build one. It's insane. It's an insane amount of money because like the certain things that they build for those things are custom made. I mean, they're all custom made to fit the driver. So it's like,
yeah.
But I mean, anything else? Like, is there any other sports news that's big out there? Oh, there is one actually. So I forgot to put a banner in for this, but we should probably talk about it. So Rashee Rice has been the face of a lot of off the field issues for the NFL right now, and it just was announced yesterday that the NFL ruled that Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice, quote, has not engaged in conduct that violates the personal conduct policy, and the investigation into the accusations from his former girlfriend is now closed. He will receive no discipline at this time from the league, per Adam Schefter. Now, this is good because the last couple of years, what's his name? Rashee Rice has had to face discipline in missed games. He was suspended for the first 7 of last year, which really destroyed the Chiefs' playoff chances. And then this comes up, but luckily he's, I think, being thrown a bone and it isn't getting disciplined for that. But I think he should be because it is terrible. But I'm sure that Patrick Mahomes is going to be happy that he doesn't have to lose his number one receiver. And I mean, I'm interested to see how their season starts off, because technically Patrick Mahomes might miss a game or two, but I have already seen him throwing, and
I
he's
heard he's tracking on the right path to where he'll play week 1.
well, that'll be helpful.
Yeah.
What's going to be interesting is the Chiefs have 2 first-round draft picks. They have 9 and 29.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do with them?
They draft right. They draft Caleb Downs and draft another defensive guy, and boom, you're back in the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't. I mean, I like that, Michael, but I wouldn't also throw out the possibility of them taking a receiver at 9 at least.
I wouldn't either.
I will say this: if Caleb Downs is there at 9 somehow, you run to the podium. I mean, there are guys that you just run to the podium for, and I think Caleb Downs is one of those guys.
Yeah.
But Ben, what are your thoughts on the Rashee Rice situation? And then we'll probably get out of here because we're at our hour.
Yeah, it's not surprising with him. He just has to kind of figure out his way to be better.
What is surprising for me is the fact that Andy Reid is dealing with it, because he doesn't seem like a guy that deals with shenanigans or any goofiness. He seems like one of those hard come into your office type of coaches, but I don't get it. I don't get it. But I think we're at our hour, so I appreciate all 79 of you watching. Sorry that we had to start a little late. I will make sure that I don't have any camera issues next Sunday when we do this in the morning. I will be on 30 minutes early, so I will get all this figured out before this happens. So see you guys next week, and we'll see what we talk about next week. We don't know what any of that stuff is yet, but it'll be fun. So have a good week, everybody, and see you next Sunday.
See you guys
Later.